The purpose of this video is to show you how to solve a multiplication word problem using 3 different strategies. Before we begin, let's think a little bit about multiplication. Multiplication is a faster way to add. You must have equal groups when you multiply, and you need to know the number of groups and the size of each group when you're solving a problem. That'll be a little clearer as we go through our sample problem today. The first step for solving any word problem is to read the problem. This problem says, Sally wants to bake 5 cakes. Each cake takes 3 eggs. How many eggs will Sally need? The second step, you always need to think about what you know. So our problem tells us today that Sally wants to bake 5 cakes. That's the number of equal groups you're going to be talking about today. Each cake takes 3 eggs. That tells us the size of each group. You need to find out how many eggs Sally needs to bake 5 cakes. Our first strategy we're going to try is model the problem. This is basically just drawing a picture to show the information that the problem gave you. So we would need to think first about how many equal groups we had. We had 5 equal groups, so we're going to draw 5 circles, one for each of the cakes that Sally wants to bake. Now you need to think about the size of your group. There were 3 eggs in each of her cakes. So we're going to go ahead and draw 3 eggs in each of our circles. When we finish that, the next step is just to simply count all of the eggs. And we can do that rather quickly by saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And as you can see, Sally needs 15 eggs to bake her cakes. Now let's try a new strategy. This strategy is called repeated addition, and it is basically just like it sounds. You are going to add the same number over and over again, or repeat one number as you're adding. You need to think about the size of each group. This is important because it's the number you're going to actually add each time. You need to think about how many equal groups you have, because that number tells you how many times you're going to add the other number. So let's look at this in action. We start with 1, 3 for the first cake, another 3 for the second cake, another 3 for the third cake, another 3 for the fourth cake, and another 3 for the fifth cake. And those 3's together equal the unknown we're trying to find. Once you have your problem written, you can just go ahead and add. You have 3 plus 3 equals 6. 6 plus 3 equals 9. 9 plus 3 equals 12. And 12 plus 3 equals 15. So just like when we modeled the problem, we get 15 eggs is what Sally needs to make her cakes. The last strategy we're going to try is draw an array. An array uses rows and columns to show the problem. You're going to draw the number of groups that you have going down, and you're going to draw the size of each group going across. So let's look at this in action so that we can see how it works. You have 5 cakes. So the first of each of your groups is going to start just by showing how many groups we need. Then we're going to go ahead and fill in those rows with the total number or the size of each group. So we're going to go ahead and do that for each of our 5 rows. And when we're finished, this is very similar to when we modeled the problem. We're just going to go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sally needs 15 eggs to bake her cakes. So what have you learned? Well, you've learned 3 different strategies to solve one multiplication problem. You learned to model the problem, which is like drawing a picture, to use repeated addition, or add a number over and over again, and you drew an array using rows and columns to show the problem. What I want you to really understand is it doesn't matter which strategy you choose, the answer will always be the same. I hope that the next time you have a multiplication word problem, you will use one of these strategies to help you solve it.